Hey, what's up, Soul fam? Welcome back to Max Mello's Architects of Soul, the podcast where we dig into the foundations of soul music and explore the absolute incredible artists who laid the groundwork for absolutely everything that we love and create today with Soul in the New Vibe, right, Mello?
That's right, Max. I'm Mello, and I'm hyped to be back with
Holla.
y'all. Diving deep into the sounds and stories of the giants who shaped our musical landscape. Today, we're turning our attention to a group that wasn't always in the spotlight as individual stars, but whose influence is absolutely undeniable.
Oh, undeniable is right. We are talking about the legendary house band of Stax Records, the badass band of Booker T and the MGs. These cats weren't just backing musicians. They were architects of sound, right? Mm-hmm. We're back with the architects again.
There they are.
Well, you got to love it. They were the very heartbeat of some of the most iconic soul records ever made. So, Mello, shall we get into it?
You bet, Max. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. And we're back with Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. Yes, we are. So when we talk about the Stax sound, you can't separate it from Booker T and the MGs.
Oh, no way.
You know, just think about those raw, infectious grooves on the tracks by like Otis Redding and Sam and Dave and Carla Thomas. That's largely their doing.
Without a doubt. And don't forget about Eddie Floyd, the Staple Singers, Wilson Pickett, Albert King. I mean, damn, they were unbelievable. And what's so fascinating is their lineup. Mm-hmm. Booker T. Jones on organ, Steve Cropper on guitar, mm-hmm. Donald Duck Dunn on bass, Al Jackson Jr. on drums. What a diverse group. Mm-hmm. And you think about this, black and white musicians at a time when
that was not the norm.
It was not at all. Yeah. It was still very much a societal divide, especially in the South.
Yeah, the deep South, yeah.
Oh, my God. So they came together through a shared love of music. And if you go back to the early days of Stax, right before the band was fully formed, so Booker T. Jones, he wasn't an organ player for the most part. He played sax. Mm-hmm. And he and Steve Cropper were doing session work for Stax before it became Stax.
Right.
It was called Satellite Records.
Yeah.
Right. And so the first really early session in 1960 was a tune called "'Cause I Love You." And that was a duet between Rufus Thomas and his daughter Carla Thomas. And that impromptu jam session led to their first hit, which was Green Onions, right? Yeah. And that took place in 1962. They came together through a shared love of music, creating something that was truly groundbreaking for two white guys and two black guys.
You're right, and that unity definitely translated into their music. Their instrumental interplay was just incredible. Steve Cropper's tight, funky guitar riffs,
and that cat. His lines became synonymous with the Stax lineup, the music that came out. Not just. I mean, each one of those guys had such an effect. But Steve Cropper, like everybody, guitar players, we all know who he is. Mm-hmm. You know, we all look at him like, wow, you know, Steve Cropper, that cat played on everything back in the day.
And him on guitar, and then Booker T's soulful organ melodies.
You can't forget Booker T. Yeah,
because also you didn't have a lot of organ not up front.
You're right.
That time.
Exactly.
And not in popular music, of course. In
jazz,
and gospel were the two places where you would find organ music.
Right, but you weren't finding it. You know, like this,
right? And when this song became a big pop record.
Well, that's the strength of melody, right? I mean, if you think about this, there's very few bands that have ever been able to survive by having such a great sound, such a great melody that it was copywritten. People don't forget it. I mean, how many people are going to say, everybody knows what Green Onions is. I mean, almost everybody, and anybody who knows anything about it understands that's a perfect rhythm section, perfect pocket with an absolutely memorable melody.
Green Onions is one of those songs I've literally heard all my life, and I did not know the title of it until I was an adult.
Oh yeah, no, everybody heard it.
I've always heard it.
It's
yeah, and
timeless.
It turns out it was always called Green Onions, and I never knew the name of it.
That's
but
right.
It's one of those songs that you've heard everywhere, like in the shopping malls and in
this goes to. We talk about melody, right? Mm-hmm. You can't copyright chord changes, but melody. Melodies are really important. You have to have a good melody, and for an instrumentalist, I mean, in pop music, right? Like this at the time.
And Duck Dunn's bass lines, and Al Jackson Jr.'s impeccable steady drumming.
Oh, he was the pocket.
Yeah. They locked in like no other band. They weren't just playing notes. They were weaving those intricate rhythmic tapestries that were both powerful and nuanced.
Yeah, sometimes it's amazing what you leave out and other people fill the hole with in that little kind of a band, those little lines that they kept doing, Cropper's little guitar parts and the great left hand of Booker T and his melodic ideas of the chord changes behind him. And they just were smooth.
But Booker T's left hand never really interfered with Duck's, bass line.
No, and Duck was chewing on his pipe, having a good time,
Yeah, exactly.
playing away. No, they were amazing. They were the rhythmic tapestries that we were talking about were really amazingly powerful and nuanced, and that influence it extended to the other artists that they backed. I mean, they showed with Green Onions about how an instrumental piece can be soulful and impactful as a vocal-led song, which is something that, again, only in jazz did you see that. So, this taught us that the feeling and the groove are paramount, regardless whether there are lyrics, which is a very amazing thing because lyrics is what you copyright too. Right. But again, this comes down to that powerful melody, right. I mean, a very strong conversation that happens between all the instruments.
Exactly. Yeah. They demonstrated the power of simplicity and space in music.
Correct.
They weren't about flashy solos or over-the-top arrangements. It was
exactly what the doctor would order for whatever they were ordering.
Right. Like they just found that perfect groove and just let it breathe.
Yeah.
And that's a huge lesson for any musician. Sometimes what you don't play is just as important as what you do play.
That's right. And when you get that little groove going, it's the shit. So anyway, we've been digging into the foundational sounds of Booker T and the MGs, and we're going to take a quick short break.
Stick around, because when we come back, we'll explore the specific lessons modern soul artists have taken from their incredible musicianship.
And hey, if you're vibing with this deep dive into soul history,
please give a like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate the love.
We truly do. All right, we're going to take a short break.
And we'll keep it locked in. We'll be back in a minute.
You got it. Hey, welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about the core elements of Booker T and MG's sound. Now, Mello, let's think about how those elements have echoed through the generations of soul musicians.
Yeah, one of the biggest takeaways is their approach to rhythm.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, Al Jackson Jr.'s drumming in particular was so influential. He had this incredible pocket, a deep, steady groove that wasn't overly busy, but was full of feel.
Oh, yeah. He laid that groove up so bad. And there was a lot of drummers, that learned from him.
Yeah, you hear that influence on countless soul, funk, and even R&B drummers who came after him.
Well, it taught us that the foundation of any great soul song is that undeniable beat. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the drummers who replaced him after he died. Willie Hall, who was Isaac Hayes' drummer, and we've talked about Isaac Hayes, another man in soul music, and
he wrote a lot of the Stax catalog.
Right, exactly. So he was part of this whole thing, and we will get to an episode of his own at some point where we'll talk about that, and maybe we'll even talk about Chef. Anyway, or not, right? But if you look at the guys who replaced him, Jim Keltner, another phenomenal player who was a huge session drummer in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he actually was the man in LA.
Well, him and Hal Blaine,
right? Yeah. They had all the session work. Keltner was on everybody's records.
When Jeff Porcaro, who my favorite drummer, when Jeff was doing sessions when he was still alive, God rest his soul, he if he was on a song that he didn't think that he was cutting, he would call up Keltner. He'd tell the client, hey, wait, I've got someone who's perfect for this. The guy'd be like, I want you. And he goes, no, this guy's going to be perfect. And he'd call Keltner up, and Keltner would come down. I mean, what a great, can you imagine having both those guys on a on a session with you.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine having two drummers anywhere, but having two of the best drummers in the business.
Oh my God, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And for sure, then, let's go past the drummer for a second back to my man Steve Cropper, who I can't stop talking about because his playing, well, like I said, he was all about serving the song. All about serving the song. And those licks, they were iconic. They were instantly recognizable. Not a lot of players get that.
Right.
You always knew it was Steve. They always complimented the vocals and the overall feel. He wasn't trying to steal the spotlight. No, he just laid back into it. And that's a crucial lesson for any instrumentalist, right? No, your role is to enhance the whole, not just show off your chops. It's about musicality and taste.
And Booker T's organ work was just pure soul.
Oh, he was so smooth.
Yeah, he had this way of creating these melodic lines and chord voicings that were both sophisticated and deeply emotional.
Yeah, he had a jazz feel about him, but in a pop way.
Yeah. I mean, he showed how organ could be so much more than just a background instrument. It could be a lead voice in its own right, like was on Green Onions. Yeah, it definitely paved the way for so many incredible soul and funk organists.
Oh, absolutely. And Donald Dunn's bass lines, excuse me, were the glue that held it all together. I could see him, right, with that chomping on that pipe, just leaning into it. Damn, he could serve the bottom up, right? No doubt. His incredible sense of space and timing, locking in with the drums, they created that irresistible foundation, the rhythmic foundation, not fancy, but just essential. He taught us the power of a well-placed note and the importance of feeling the groove deeply. Boy, these guys as individuals and as a unit were truly masters of their craft and architects of their sound. And their influence and their DNA on soul music, you cannot tell me it's not undeniable.
It is undeniable. We've been breaking down the individual brilliance and collective magic of Booker T and the MGs.
That's right. So don't go anywhere. Up next, we're going to talk about how their collaborative spirit and instrumental prowess continue to inspire artists today.
Stick around.
Thanks for tuning in to Architects of Soul. Our music is waiting for you.
And we're back with Max Mello's Architects of Soul.
Yo-ho.
So beyond the individual instrumental lessons, Booker T and the MGs also demonstrated the power of musical collaboration. They were a true band with each member contributing equally to the overall sound.
Without a doubt. They truly were. They played as a team every time.
Yeah, and that synergy is something that many modern soul and R&B groups still strive for.
Oh, yeah, and you think of all the great bands that came after them. I mean, every soul band, from Earth, Wind, and Fire, there's so many groups that were affected by how the Booker T and the MGs laid that pocket out, right? That was what a gift to soul. I mean, they weren't just hired guns. They were integral to the creative process at Stax, which as a musician, you want something like that. So be able to give yourself, of your creativity to lend something to something that's great. And they often co-wrote and arranged some of the songs that they played on. The level of involvement and ownership, what a powerful example for any band. I mean, what that shows is that when everyone is invested and contributing, and does that sound familiar? Their unique talents, everybody contributes.
Yeah.
You can create something truly, truly special.
And if you've helped to write the song, and then of course you're going to be more sort of just emotionally invested.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, their instrumental prowess really elevated the vocal performance of the artists that they backed. They knew how to create a sonic landscape that supported and enhanced the singer's delivery.
There's that bed we were talking about.
There you go. And that's a subtle but incredibly important art. It's about listening. And responding, and creating a musical conversation between the singer and the instrumentalist that serves the song.
Hey, do that sound familiar too?
Hey, that's how you tell a story.
I tell you, that's what this is all about. Remember, Think about how many contemporary soul and R&B artists feature instrumental breaks or extended instrumental sections in their music. Earth, Wind, and Fire, there's one for you. Cool and the Gang. I mean, you can definitely trace that back to the influence of Booker T and the MGs, showing that the instruments themselves could actually carry the entire emotional weight and tell a story without words. They broaden the possibilities of what soul music could be, which we fucking love.
Yeah, their legacy is woven into the fabric of soul music. They set a standard for groove, musicianship, and collaboration that continues to inspire and influence artists across genres.
Oh, truly, truly. Like I said, I saw Booker T and the MGs back up Neil Young, right? And I don't like the way Neil Young plays guitar. I think he's a great acoustic guitar player, a great finger picker, a great songwriter. His voice doesn't kill him, doesn't thrill me, but I love some of his songs. I just don't like his guitar playing that much. But with Cropper next to him and Duck on bass and Booker T, man, you never heard Neil Young sound better, ever. It was the finest performance. I mean, what Cropper brought out in Neil's playing was tremendous. And again, that's the whole thing about playing with the right artist, like the right band, the right groove.
It brings out the best in you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they were truly architects building the sonic foundations upon which so much of the music we love today is built.
Oh my God, yeah. They were master craftsmen, right? Master craftsmen.
That's right. And we're going to take one last pause for the cause. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Bet. Hey, welcome back to Max Mello's Architects of Soul. And we've been diving into the story and the sound of Booker T and the MGs. And it's always a reminder of the incredible depth and innovation within soul music history, their impact just being immeasurable. But we didn't get a chance to talk about a couple other things, Mel. Like, we didn't talk about Sam and Dave.
Right.
Who truly, I mean, they were the house band for Sam and Dave.
Right.
And some of the most successful music of the period.
Although I'm Coming.
Right. And Soul Man.
Hello.
I Thank You. I mean, wow. Right.
Classic.
So that alone would have been big enough to seal their deal, right? But no, they're backing up Otis. Right. Now, we just talked about him on the last podcast. I mean, the band was Otis's band from the time they started. They were this is a cornerstone of soul music. The MGs, along with the Memphis Horns, which was, oh my God, King Curtis, my man. Whew, forget that. We already know what he did with Aretha. You know, all these are, oh my God, unbelievable when you think about these collaborations. Right? I mean, they backed everybody, right? From Otis, from his debut in Pain in the Heart in 64, right? All the way up to Dock of the Bay, which got released after he died in 68.
Yeah.
And do not forget that unbelievable live performance, that legendary set at Monterey Pop in 67. You think about that because that was just before he died. And it threw him on the map huge, big time. No one had ever seen the amount of energy that man had. I mean, wow.
I mean, well, they were the house band for the whole label.
Yeah, right. You think about it. Truly, that's true.
And they showed us the power of the groove, the importance of serving the song, and the magic that can happen when musicians truly connect. Their legacy lives on in the music that we create and in the sounds of countless artists who followed in their footsteps.
That's very true. So to all the artists out there, we got to say what we always say, right?
Too true, Max. We say to all the creators out there trying to seriously keep it for real.
For real.
For real.
Mello and I truly mean this out of deep introspection to the architects. We spent a lot of time on this. It is truly a labor of love, but they forged this trail, and they'll always remind us that.
Keep that soul fire burning, protect your sound, nurture your creativity, own your voice, and remember the lessons from the giants who came before. And yes, protect your masters and seek out wise mentors who can guide you on your journey. And until we next meet, peace and soul, y'all.